Hello, hello. What is going on, friends? Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. Feel good? Feel fresh? Feel fine? I'm a little concerned because I have this window open. So I'm in this weird spot where, like, if I have that window rattler, air conditioner in there, that's a good thing. Because then the window is essentially closed. But I'm not going to put that in there yet. So I got it open. And my amazing neighbors, the Hallelujahs, I mean, there is a chance that the shit that I say, I was talking about some lady getting it up the butt on the Who Are These Broadcasters show. I was talking about Christy Noem, the chick who shot her dog in the head. Which, how about that story? What? I think that in that story, the fact that she shot the dog and then said, fuck it, I'm going to kill the goat too. And then wrote about it. I mean, it's one thing if that happens. I mean, those two weird things happen like that. And then to, like, write it like that's a good thing? I don't know. I think she wrote it to, didn't she indicate that she wanted to show that she's willing to do tough things or make tough decisions? I would agree. That is that sounds like a very difficult decision, but I don't doubt that. It's just, it seems like she got off on it. I think she might actually masturbate too while she kills animals. That's what I think. By the way, such a smoke show too, and I'm really conflicted because she's such a smoke show that, if you ask me this question 9 out of 10 times, I'm going to say she's a psychopath. But like I said before, she's such a smoke show that I might even be able to convince myself that this is acceptable behavior because she's so goddamn hot. The best part about her, she's 52 years old. I had her for like 38. I had no idea she's that old. Like if in an alternate reality, let's say Pooh Bear never existed. Let's say Christy Noem had all the qualities of Pooh Bear. And then one day she decided to slaughter all the dogs. And someone said, well, are you going to get rid of her? Are you going to divorce her? I'd say, I got to think about it. I got to ponder this. This is something I need to look into. My God. Linda says she and Stu are a great match. Anyway, so one day I'm expecting like the Hallelujahs to be out there and they hear me drop MFs and say somebody's getting it up the butt or whatever the fuck I say on here. And then just to hear, oh my God, their ears catch on fire. I mean, these people are super pious. These are the ones who on Sundays stay inside and they go to they go to service on Wednesday. The dad is the principal of the local Christian school. Very Ned Flanders-like. And then there was the time I was in my driveway, and it was right about when I was, we have this silver Accord that's still in the fleet, this '07 Accord. And at one point I was giving it to Jim. That car's been like in everybody's hands in this house. I'm cleaning out the glove box when all right, I'm going to get my shit out of there. And one of the things I was cleaning out of the glove box was a book by some religious dude that somebody had given me that book. And I don't know why. I think it was after I got fired, These people come out of the woodwork and they're like, oh, man. And he's like, hey, I want you to read this book. And I'm always like, yeah, like I'm going to fucking read that. I just got fired. Like I'm going to read a book. You got some extra time. I want you to read these good words. I'm like, I'm not going to read this fucking book. No. I think these zealots, they try to get you when you're vulnerable. They get you to read something like this. I'm like, oh, God. I'm like, look, dude, I haven't read the Bible. Okay, if I haven't started with the big one, why am I going to read this by some Yahoo? I love when people always say, yeah, man, I read the Bible. Everybody who says that they've read the Bible is, I've said this before, is lying to you. No people that exist on the planet have actually read the Bible. It's impossible to read the Bible. I like how in the Bible now, they like add parts to it to like fit the culture. Like they add that, it'll say like, okay, thou shalt not this. God hates gays. And you know that they didn't put that was just entered in there like last week in the Trump Bible. Anyway, I pull this book out of the glove box and Jim goes, what's that? I think I hear somebody out there. I go, that's just some of that fucking Jesus shit that Jeff gave me. And they're all out there like, they like wash the cars together. And they all look at me like, oh, with this. And they're like looking up at the sky, waiting for lightning to strike them. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. Oh, I just skulked back into the house. I'm like, oh, I'm such an asshole. Jesus. Maureen says, I just realized Mr. Maureen could be in Alleluia. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that Mr. Maureen is ultra religious? Or just because of the way he is? Is that what you're telling me? Because there's a lot of people who don't like me because I talk poo-poo caca all the damn time. Sorry if my voice just got louder. I like made an adjustment. Like I used to have that guy on here, Steve Prince, who Prince Arming, the gun, what do you call it, CPL classes. And one day he stopped marketing on the show, and it took me forever to get it out of him. And I'm like, yeah, so why don't you start marketing again? Oh, I can't. Why? Well, the Bible says you can't swear, and you swear. And I'm like, you fucking asshole. What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you serious? So are you telling me that if you and I get there at the same time to the pearly gates, they're going to say, oh, no, you go first because you didn't say bad words? Think about that. Think about what you're saying. And if that's the case, it's like, well, yeah, maybe not. But I would say all of these bad words I say are easily washed away because I had someone rip out one of my body parts, one of my vital organs, and give it to another so that he may live. I literally risked my own life to save a virtual stranger. Have you? Oh, no. Oh, I think I'm going to take all those chips and put them over here in my pile. Thank you. Bob says, but he's not swearing. You are. Doesn't make sense. I don't know if you can hear the lawnmower. Can you hear that? So my neighbor's mowing his lawn. All right. So I'm going to close that window now because he's literally right outside of here. Hang on. Now it's going to get warm, but that's okay. Now I can permission to speak freely. This is my normal tone. You can tell. I like speaking at this level. It allows me to be more animated. It's easier to speak rather than doing this shit. So we're in that weird spot. Nick makes a great point. I don't trust a man who doesn't cuss. I'm with you. And if you're at a place where a guy smashes his finger like he's putting on a roof like I just did, and he goes, God bless America, or rats and mice, or cheese and rice, or dad gummit. I'm like, no, fuck that, man. That is the place. You got to drop that shit. Besides, God has the power to damn. All right? This is what I believe. Does Jesus and God, do they have the power to damn you? Well, yes, of course. He's perfect. He's God. He can do that if he wants to. He can damn whatever. Okay, so if a hammer smashes my thumb, I am asking God for a favor. What is that? I am asking him, I'm imploring him to damn the hammer. How do you do that? 3 words. God damn it! It makes sense. I mean, it's not a swear word. It's urging. It's asking the Lord to do those things. It's very effective. You're actually asking God to bestow his power to damn things. Some of you might say to me, God damn you, Eric Zane. You're hoping I'm damned. That works, people. Maureen says he's not ultra, but because he doesn't want to hear your potty mouth. Yeah, you can't trust that guy. What goes on during sex? Is it just quiet? Because I always like to chitter chatter, potty talk, and Diana just tells me to shut up. She gets mad at me. Shut up! I'm concentrating. My God. So I don't understand. Chris says Steve was a major in the Army. He most certainly said some swear words. Well, maybe he's turned it around. Megan says, but your wife hates it. Yeah, I know. But believe me, she swears like you wouldn't believe. Like when I told her about Doug from Bosco's losing his patience with me, she was so pissed. She's very defensive about the old man. She's like, well, God damn it. Nobody's going to talk to you like that. You shouldn't take that shit. If you're not going to do something about it, I'll go over there and kick his fucking ass. Fuck that guy. Patrick says the Knights of Good Standards and Practices will pay you a visit if you use too many curse words, which is what I hear. I don't know what that means. If you say so. If you say so, my friend. So if you watch the Tigers and the Red Wings and the Pistons on your local Xfinity cable, like we do, this is only going to be interesting to some of you, but this happens from time to time in different parts of the listening audience. Like if you live in Massachusetts, you hear sometimes about sports networks, their contracts with the local media entity runs out. Okay? And that just happened here. Now, a lot of people are cord cutters. They stop subscribing to cable because they might do YouTube TV or something like that, and whatnot. And I've thought about that, but it's really not that much more expensive to have the TV when you have internet. Like, I have internet and I have TV. Well, I might have to drop the TV if it's going to save me some money, because one of the reasons why we have the TV is to watch the goddamn Tigers, the Red Wings, and the Pistons. Maybe not the Pistons right now because they suck so much dick, but the network that carries those teams is Bally Sports. And Bally Sports is going belly up right now, like a lot of broadcast entities. They can't afford it, so they're going bankrupt. So while they're going bankrupt, they're in a discussion with Xfinity to be carried to renew the contract, and they didn't come to an agreement, so Xfinity dropped it like overnight. So no more Tigers, no more Red Wings, and no more Pistons. Jesus damn fucking shit. So now I want to cut the TV out if that's the case. But I have to think about if we decide to be cord cutters and watch TV through YouTube TV, if it's a huge savings. I don't know how much of a savings it would be. If it's not that much of a savings, I'm not going to worry about it. And the other thing I have to consider, how difficult is it going to be to, okay, because the person who watches the TV the most is the NFK. So of 24 hours in a day, I'm not lying to you, 13 hours of it, he has a TV on. If there is any disruption in that, like if it is not seamless and perfect, we are at risk. Picture when Raymond from Rain Man, when he realized he was going to miss the People's Court, except times 100. And yeah, Raymond didn't watch TV for 13 hours a day. All he did was watch People's Court and like to drive slow in the driveway and count cards and shit like that. Our very own Raymond, or Charlie, or whatever the fuck his name is, Raymond, he'd probably kill us all in this household. Jesus. Linda says it's money well spent to keep him from flipping off the TV. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's a very real thing. So that's what's going on. I don't want it, but I need to look into it, see how much money I can save. Close to home here as well, I have two stories of prostitution. At this one massage parlor, this lady who runs it, the madam, she has all the chicks there, and the prosecutor is saying that all dudes come in, and then they pay an entry fee, and then it's kind of like, all-you-can-eat buffet. You pay like $50 to $80, and you go into the massage parlor, and then you get all sorts of sex act, like just by walking in and laying down. This is the story of all that shit. This happening right here. They already busted this chick who looks pissed off there.
A Michigan woman was arraigned today for charges related to running a prostitution ring out of a massage.
Oops. This is like a new thing. This has like been happening a lot lately. As soon as I expand the screen, everything goes to shit. Come on. It's way annoying. I don't know what's worse. If this is all happening, I don't know what's worse. This is all happening. I have to start the whole thing. It's awkward. There's an ad playing, for God's sake. I'm warm. The problems. All right.
Today for charges related to running a prostitution ring out of a massage business.
News 8's Megan Butchman joins us now with more on this case, Megan.
44-year-old Edith Amanda Corbett is facing 4 felonies, including keeping a house of prostitution following an investigation that started last July. Edith Amanda Corbett of Hamilton broke down in tears Monday after she was formally charged with
She looks like free beer with those tears.
4 felony counts related to renting a prostitution ring out of her business off of Plainfield Avenue, Just Divine Massage.
She has no criminal cases on her public record at this point. She owns her own home. She's lived there for 4 years.
Court documents reveal
Trying to get her out of jail.
Corbett was known as Milan across several digital platforms that discussed various aspects of the commercial sex industry. All of the alleged clients were men who were charged either $50 to $80 at the door, depending on how long they stayed. Kent County Sheriff's Office conducted an interview with one of the victims who said Corbett also offered training or educational sessions on how to perform specific acts on clients.
Training sessions to perform sex acts on clients? Is there something wrong with the women that they don't know how to do sex acts? Are these maybe like taken from the Kenny's dating app, cerebralpalsygirls.com?
So that's 3 separate charges of 20-year felonies.
Oh.
Then the last count, Ms. Corbett, is called keeping a house of prostitution. That you did keep, maintain, or operate, or aid and abet in keeping, maintaining, or operating a house
By the way, that's Judge Smolensky. She does not fuck around.
of ill fame.
The investigation into the allegations started last July. Corbett would deposit the money collected to her own personal bank account, Venmo, and the Cash App.
What's the distance roughly to Grand Rapids from Hamilton?
Corbett will be back in court May 8th for a probable cause conference. Her bond is set at $100,000.
Oh, my God. That's not the only story. I think we've talked about this. 3 facing charges of alleged sexual assault, prostitution at this Holland Township massage parlor. Wrong massage. RONG, wrong massage. Three women. I think it's the same type of deal. They're like madams, you know? Get people that are down on their luck, victimize them, turn them into, give them a few bucks here and there. Reports of inappropriate touching at Wrong Massage were first reported in July of 23. More than a half dozen tips came in between then and October. Now, one of the people that would give the rub and tugs remained anonymous, but had told Fox 17 this. And I'm going to read exactly what the person said. It's a chick. At the Wrong Massage. I don't know why happen these things. I still, until right now, from before customer calls police, until right now, just thinking about that, I don't understand why. They just are very, very mad for me and just want to call police and say I do bad service for them because they don't like me. Just only don't like me. Don't like my talking. So they just want to call police. They just want to close my shop. They just want to kick me out. I don't know what they want me to do. I just think that's crazy, you know? Okay. So this wordsmith either doesn't think there's anything wrong with giving the hand jobs at Wong Massage or is lying. Deputies told Fox 17 that one of the 3 suspects has been formally arraigned. 38-year-old Li Zhu, charged with third-degree criminal sexual conduct and maintaining a prostitution house. Ottawa County Sheriff's Office says the other 2 women, aged 65 and 66, each face 1 count of maintaining a prostitution house. Their arraignment is still pending. I think I remember calling this number once. I don't think anything happened with it, but I'm going to try it again. Let's see. Wrong Massage. Hold on. I'm going to do a *67 this time. Why does it say 626? I distinctly remember going through all of this once before.
Please leave your message for...
Let me try 616.
Daggy is currently unavailable.
No. Shit! Well, that sucks. All right. Ben says in English it's pronounced long massage. Nick adds something Wong going on at that place. Bob refers to Judge Smolinski as Judge Killjoy. No, I don't know. I don't think that's true. By the way, that's the judge who went to St. Stephen's in East Grand Rapids. She's gay. She's a lesbian. And they got a new priest there. And this is one of the problems with the Catholic Church. Depending on your priest, something like this can happen. Though the entire network of the Catholic Church, you can't get married in the Catholic Church. It's looked at as sinful behavior, all that shit. If you have the right priest, they'll turn the other way. That's what she had there. And then new priest comes in, young guy, hotshot. And she goes up to get communion. And the priest knows she's gay. And then she gets before him, and he's supposed to say, "This is the body of Christ." And she's supposed to say, "Amen." He goes, No. Go. You will not get communion. Be gone. And she's like, "What the fuck?" So she went on TV and told that story. And everybody left the parish. The parish is still open. There was a school. They had a Catholic school. What do you call it? Elementary school. It closed because there was nobody that was sending their kids there anymore. Fucking Catholic Church. Idiots. Unbelievable. All right. So local football coach diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Community rallies around Coach Jeff Boley. $59 old at the time. They say, "All right, we got to get you going on an active chemotherapy schedule and treatment to fight this." Coach says, "Oh, God, just keep me alive. Keep me alive. I got to do one more football season with the boys. We got a great team, and I love them so much." And docs go, "All right, yeah, Coach, who knows? Maybe we can get this in remission. It is stage 4 cancer, which I don't think there's much dropping back down into stage 3, stage 2. You know, pretty much as I understand it, stage 4, you're going to die. It's terminal cancer. Stage 5, you're going to die quick." So he started chemotherapy in 2023. Then he goes back in to get more chemotherapy treatment after the first treatment. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm here for my chemo treatment." And they said, "Ooh, yeah. And you heard something that, like, occasionally people might hear at Bosco's Pub. Occasionally you might hear, yeah, we're out of bacon. So we can serve you the burger, but no bacon on it." Because he's like, "Wait, I'm here." And they go, "Yeah, sorry, we're out of chemotherapy. Come back later." I'm not even kidding you. I guess there is a nationwide shortage in chemotherapy drugs. What? How could that possibly be? Aren't chemotherapy drugs like manufactured? Isn't that like a synthetic creation? It isn't like they have to dig in the ground to get some chemotherapy. The drug is called cisplatin. Became harder to find because there's a nationwide shortage. I just kept wondering, what if we had gotten the cisplatin? Could it have slowed his cancer down? Well, he died. This is his wife talking. The guy died. Would he have been able to coach more? Would he have been stronger? Would he have felt better? It's always a second guess. Here's the poor guy. Look at this. Look at this dude. He's all excited. This is like the day before he's going in for chemo. He's like, I'm going to keep fighting. You know, that's what you do. When local guy gets sick, you know, everybody rallies around and you see signs that say like, Tyler Strong or Linda Strong, keep fighting. And then, there's a big potluck to raise money, maybe a bake sale. And then everybody gets those wristbands and a T-shirt. And then the money goes to, like, the family for support. And then you go get your chemo. Well, they had all of that shit except no chemo. Tyler says, I'm here for the chemo. Hold the bun. Yeah, the guy died. I want to know more about chemotherapy shortage. As the months passed and the cancer progressed unchecked, Jeff got sicker. And then doctors said, sorry, with no chemo, there's nothing we can do. I don't buy this. How could you not? Why couldn't you get in the car and go to where the chemo was? Does that mean he's the only one that doesn't get chemo? Or are all these people that exist in the United States that have this form of cancer, are they not getting chemotherapy? He died 7 months after losing access to his chemotherapy drugs. Last summer, dude shared his story with Today's Show to raise awareness of the chemotherapy shortage. My God. God damn it, don't get cancer. A little bit more about the chemotherapy shortage. Increasingly difficult to find. It doesn't say how, though. It just talks about how they're just low. That I'm always interested in how. How could that possibly be? All it says is that there is one. Why do I have a feeling this is bogged down by red tape and money? That this is something stupid like that. I don't understand that. Goddamn, don't get cancer. Holy shit. What a way to end on a terribly grim story. Linda says, I have a friend who's a nurse in the who administers chemo and GR. I'll ask her. That is ridiculous. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me. I appreciate you. We are a day away from another Big Fraud Thursday. That happens tomorrow. I appreciate you. And I will talk to you a little later on. Have a good one, folks. Bye-bye. Welcome into the Patreon bonus podcast. I just had to put out a fire because my neighbor's dog decided to wander around the neighborhood. That's Sonny, and that's Schimmel's dog. Now, Schimmel is the guy who I still think he made this story up. I just don't believe it. A couple of years ago, Benny got out, and Schimmel brings Benny to the door, and he's a big, burly hillbilly. And he bangs on the door, and Dinah answers. He goes, hey, this your dog? And Pooh Bear goes, yeah. Yeah, I almost shot him. I'm like, what? Yeah, he wouldn't kill one of my chickens. So you're lucky I didn't shoot him. She's like, what the fuck? So I go over there and I come home. Pooh Bear tells me, I go over there. I go, Shimmel, what the fuck happened? Yeah, your dog killed a chicken. Now I'm thinking like, there's no fucking way. Benny is so unbelievably uncoordinated. I think he's got severe autism. He's slow. He's old and scared of his own shadow. A chicken would have kicked his ass. Oh, yeah. My grandkids saw it and everything. They're traumatized. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? There is just no way that even fucking happened. So his dog wanders around the neighborhood. That's Sonny. And I like the dog a lot. And I had the window open here because it's 1,000 degrees in here. And so Sonny's walking around, and these three ding-dongs, O'Neill notices. He sees it out there. Ears go up. And that gets the other jackass, and then they're all just clamoring. They want to go out and beat Sonny's ass. You shouldn't be over here. And the window does not have a screen in it. So Darla is literally trying to jump out. Oh, fuck. So I shut it all down, and here I am, sweating my balls off. Update. I went to see Byers, my doctor. And Dr. Steve yesterday was correct with the diagnosis of cervical radiculopathy. I didn't go in and say that. I waited until after the doc had diagnosed me. And I said, I have a friend who's a doctor, and he said, use the term cervical radiculopathy. He goes, that's exactly what I wrote down that you have. That is fancy for a pinched nerve. Okay, well, we're all on the same page. Pinched nerve. This will take some time. Stevie writes, when's your chiropractor appointment? It doesn't work that way. No. No, hey, it's out of my hands. You got to go see the neck cracker. He did say, when he's asking, so where did this come on? I said, I don't know, dude. I just woke up one day and it was feeling bad. I don't know if it has anything to do with me cracking my neck. Can you imagine if it actually was because I cracked my neck? Which makes me feel like I want to crack my neck right now. Oh, that feels good. Not too bad. Yeah, that doesn't bother me at all. It's other movements that bother me. And then it sends shooting pins and needles down my arm, into my hand. And I got it to do it in front of him. And he's like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, now obviously he can't feel it. I go, it's happening right now. And he's like manipulating my neck in a certain way. It's like if there's an audio soundtrack that goes to it, like this is going, these electrical impulses are just shooting down my arm. He goes, all right, Eric, for 5 days, this is what we're doing. This is my treatment. For 5 days, you're going to be on prednisone. Okay? And a muscle relaxer. That is to hopefully calm all that down and ease the pain, my friend. And I go, all right, love it. And then he's like, and rehab. I go, sign me up. You know what he didn't say? Chiropractor, you dumb twats. I love how you chiropractic idiots diagnose it on your own. This is what you do. Oh, my back hurts. Oh, I have decided I must go to a chiropractor. And you know what that dick sees? $. When the stupid Mark, comes in, and then he goes, and you go, oh, my, yeah, that's the best feeling in the world. I'm cured. Oh, wait a minute. It's bothering me again. I better go back and give him more money. 6 months later, you're still feeding the machine, you dumbass. Linda says, have fun with PT. That will do nothing for you. LOL. How the fuck? How would you possibly know that? What? I don't understand. Have fun with PT. That will do nothing for you. LOL. Are you suggesting that I am getting scammed? How could you possibly even say that? You know, there have been now two real glaring things from Linda today that have made me think, what the hell is she smoking? Well, anyway, I'll report back. So I go get my medicine today. Stevie says PT is so much more expensive than Cairo. When are you going to get through your head that Cairo is not going to cure anything? What is it? Come on. Kenny writes, how would you possibly know that? You're saying the same thing about chiropractic care, Eric. You idiots. A chiropractor is not a physician. You're telling me you would choose a chiropractor over a doctor. That's what you're telling me. That is so dumb. Tyler writes, all doctors do is give you medicine to help alleviate pain, discomfort, then investigate the issue further if needed. They don't do anything to help you. You've got to be kidding, right? Why? Is this whole chat retarded today? Let's see. Chris writes, my argument has been both Cairo and PT can work together. No, it can't. Oh, right now I just started tingling. Oh, by the way, he did say that this is going to take months. It could take months to get this back to where I'm not having an issue. Chris writes, Easy isn't worried about medical bills. He has to pay for Maddie's college and he has a hot tub. Dude's loaded. Tyler says, I'm kidding. I thought so. I wasn't sure about that. I saw the wink after. Tyler's, okay. I'm stripping Linda of the show advisement job and handing it to Tyler. Tyler is now the show advisor. I cannot be taking advice from some jerk-off clown who loves Michigan State with any type of seriousness, with this type of nonsense that she's spewing out of her rat hole. God damn. Kenny writes, with his infinite wisdom, yeah, 6 months, and then it will be back to square one. Like kinda said. I think he wants to say, like I kinda said. I love the crystal ball that you've somehow managed to stuff into your fat folds to take a look into my future. The Kenny crystal ball. Yeah. I know what's going to happen. This is the way it is, EZ. I can't wait to shove it all in your fucking faces. I am going to be the best fucking patient ever when it comes to my PT for repairing my chicken wing. I need look no further than the approval of pseudo witch doctor Jim Barry, who is not a doctor but says he's a doctor. And when this is all healed, he will look back and say, see, EZ, you were right to listen to a pseudo doctor, me. So in my bag of fuck off, I've got Linda in the bag, Kenny in the bag, Stevie's in the bag, Chris is half in the bag. That is Chris D. Stevie says it worked on my sciatica. No, it didn't. All right. That's where I stand. So I got to head over to the docks or head over to the to Walmart and get my medicine. I want to share something with you right now that when I was watching this last night at the hockey arena, I was like, oh, God, this looks bad. They asked me to go to the rink a couple weeks ago. Actually, it was last week and shoot a hype video. And I don't know about you, but I think this looks corny as fuck and falls way flat and makes me look like a creep. In fact, those are the words that were said by my scorekeeper at the table. That would be, what the fuck is her name? Josie. Josie's sitting there. She goes, oh, God, that was creepy. I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. They're laughing in my face. This video, hold on. I'll just show it to you. Okay, there I am. Which, by the way, I look like retarded Sebastian Maniscalco. Like, no joke. Sebastian. Let me see if I can get a good... Oh, no. Let me see if I can make this happen here. Jesus. Okay, you got that. Well, just take my word for it. I look like him. I don't have the energy to go through it. Let's watch this fucking thing. Oh, boy. This is going to be painful. Nation, we've been here. Griffin's Nation, we've been here before. We're ready for this. Any doubts, concerns, or tensions you may have, erase them from your minds. It's going to take each and every one of you in this building to help get the job done. There is no other fan base more invested, more proud, and more deserving than you. Thought that the van was loud during the regular season. Let's show them what playoff loud is like. Oh, what a rapist. These walls, they feel the vibrations. The chants of "Let's go Griffins" ring through the building. The players hear it and they can feel it. You want to make an impact. Right now, I need all of you to get on your feet because this is our house. 2024 Calder Cup playoffs begin now. The Rockford Ice Hogs and your Grand Rapids Griffins. Here we go. Fuck me. I'm sweating. That was fucking horrible. Linda writes, ha 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 ha, rub the wall. Ryan says, after the intensity of these close-ups and music, I'm expecting this to turn into a full-fledged murder. Stevie says it's the Temu version of Keith Morrison. Oh. Chris says these walls are red. Maureen says that was kind of creepy there, LOL. Oh, no. Bob says, and now we go to Eric Zane with sports. Ryan writes, the Anchorman Blazer. Kevin liked it. He wrote, it's different when it plays in the arena before the game. Tyler writes, my first act as official advisor is to advise you to ask them to never play that again. Oh, God damn it. Oh. Hang on a second. I've got text messages to answer. Do you work today? No, period. I have the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Oh. All right. Well, anyway. Chris writes, Kuipers? He was probably drunk. I will say this, speaking of the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, Ben wants to start at 6 p.m. Big Fraud time. And he has 20 clips to review. That's a lot. Fuck. I mean, with my clips, I'm hoping we can even get through it. Ryan, not Ryan, USA number 1 writes, no mention of my Winnebago man drop on the YouTube show. Sad. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Thank you for reminding me. That's a great thing that we need to. It's been too long since we've. Has anybody not seen Winnebago Man? Okay. Story behind Winnebago Man. In the late 1980s, the Winnebago Man was just some dude. He used to be a TV anchor, and then he started working for like an RV dealer to shoot promotional videos like on VHS. For, hey, this is the new Winnebago X3000. It's got lots of leg room. Here's a headroom. It does this. It does that. Except when he'd make those videos, he would get super goddamn pissed off. And whenever he would he would fuck the line up, or somebody would do something that he wouldn't like, he'd start swearing at him. Well, the VHS tapes, copies of it circulated and kind of went viral before the internet even became a thing. So as soon as YouTube hit, somebody posted the fucking thing. It's like the first thing they did on YouTube was post a Winnebago Man. And this actually morphed into some filmmakers decided to go and find this guy, the dude that you're about to see. And they did a documentary in 2009 about like finding Winnebago Man or some shit. And so that's the end of that. So let's get into Winnebago Man. I'm glad this was suggested for us to review. I hope I can get it here. I am really struggling. Shit, I don't even know if I can. That would be a real drag if after all of that, I was not. There it is. Excellent. Oh, it scared me. Okay. Here you go. After all these years, I'm still not comfortable with this.
The Winnebago Concepts and Engineering Departments have developed a multifunctional bathroom. Privacy, I don't know what the fuck I'm reading. I wonder what the fuck the real dialogue is. What the fuck is this thing? All of the windshield, for fuck's sake. Oh, fuck. What the fuck did I say? That didn't sound for shit, did it?
Okay, you're getting that good. All right.
And here, under the hood, we've stored something that'll really come in handy if it doesn't fall out and break my leg. What we're doing is we're building a fucking industrial film. Trying to give these guys everything they can get. I mean, that's it. Fuck it. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. We suppose we open... Gotta do it again, right now. Oh, fuck. 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 Oh, fuck. Shit. Tony, do me a favor, will you please? Will you? Will you do me a kindness? Yeah.
I think I'm going to be walking in and out if you're going to fuck up and I got to come back.
I don't make any difference to me at this juncture. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Tony. Don't slam the fucking door. No more.
No more. That line right there is what I wrote on Reddit today when all that shit was going down. I wrote, no more. And then USA number one said, oh my God, no more. That's Winnebago Man. And then all of a sudden this video's up there. I like the RV though. Old school RV.
Listen, I've got to give a clue here now. I don't want any more bullshit anytime during the day from anyone. That includes me.
I don't want any bullshit from anyone, including me. I don't want me giving me any more bullshit.
It's going to be very hot. It's going to be very uncomfortable for everybody. Want anybody yelling?
I don't want anybody yelling. This guy's like Doug.
We get anybody yelling around here anymore today, and then the shit is going to hit the fan. And they fit the diverse needs of a very big firm, and they fit the needs of a very diverse buyer segment. Why can't I remember? I wrote this stuff. Why can't I remember it? Why don't I say it fucking right? What does the goddamn line say, Tony? What is the goddamn line? I don't give a shit what the line is. I fucked up the word rear. I can't even read the fucking VO straight. What the fuck was that? We got flies all over the fucking place. Son of a bitch. Get out of here, you fucking flies. There's a fly over the headlight, Tony. We got flies coming for us.
Poor Tony. Poor Tony keeps getting all sorts of shit.
Fuck out of here, you flies. We got 3 flies, 5 flies. And if you will, make sure, we don't have that fly on the left side on the passenger side because we don't have that in frame, but make sure we don't have any flies here. And we don't have any flies. Here we go. Get out of here, you goddamn jackass. I got to read it again because my mind is just a piece of shit this morning.
Okay, all right. This goes on for another 4 minutes. Holy shit, do I love that guy. Ryan says, the flies always get me as if they would have been captured in shitty beta cam standard definition. I love this, man. Yeah, I didn't see one fucking fly in that thing. Megan says no one would know if he didn't swat them. That's absolutely true. Ryan says, I love that he keeps his broadcast cadence while explaining how hot it is. Stevie says this man must be protected at all costs. Sadly, he died 8 days short of 1 year ago. He died May 10, 2023. He was, I think, in his 90s. In fact, if you look up Winnebago Man Wiki, it's the story of the documentary that they made for him. It's quite good, actually, because these filmmakers go all over the fucking world trying to find the guy, and they finally find him. And then this is the story of how that all takes place and what he had to say and how he felt about the world. Pretty cool. Megan says, why do you know that off of the top of your head? Well, because like I said, I was reminded of the video. And when I had a minute from the end of the free show to now, I watched that. And then I looked him up and read it on Wiki. And that's what I kind of pulled out of it, that he just happened to die. And I went, oh, my God, that's almost 1 year ago to the day, because today's May 2nd. And then I just remembered it. So Ryan wrote, because Megan, he's a national treasure. I hope he has an RV on his gravestone. He went to, there was also an event that was not Comic-Con, but something about Nostalgia Con or something like that. And they got him to go to it, and he was there like as Winnebago man and like signing autographs. And it was then that he realized, he finally understood that what it meant to be viral and how many people people had seen it, and he made laugh with his rage, which is there anything more hilarious than someone who is just blowing their fucking stack and everyone around them is just kind of like watching it all unfold? I love that. I have been the one blowing stack before. Like, to me, if I can get Kenny on the phone and he's shitting a brick about something, and you're just hearing the steam shoot out of his ears, I mean, I'm as joyful about when Kenny is struggling as if when I'm holding a puppy. Like, if Kenny gets on the phone and he's raging out about this, that, and the other thing and losing his mind, if someone said, you have the opportunity, Eric, to cuddle a newborn puppy or listen to Kenny have a meltdown, I would take Kenny 10 out of 10 times. Tyler said, this is why we love it when you lose your shit, Easy. Yeah, I can see that. I'm not having a good time when that happens. And to be honest with you, I think that's fewer and farther in between. I think I lose I don't know if it's as consistent now, you know? Maybe it is. I mean, you're the only ones that could be the judge of that, really. The good old days when Easy used to scream at Amanda. I miss those. Yeah, I think like if you were to have a 365 days and like a point for every flash up or hot spot, I don't know. I just feel like there's less and less of those. Now they're still going to happen, which is probably going to make them more special than ever. If anybody pisses me off so goddamn much that I have a rage out where I'm stringing obscenities like more eloquently than, Eminem on stage fucking saying fuck the free world, that whole fucking deal. That's when you listen to the Sith Lord and you let the rage consume you. That's a wonderful thing. That is beautiful. That type of rage manifesting and flying out of one's mouth is, in my opinion, an orgasmic moment that should be beloved by all. All right. Where else was I? No, I don't want to talk about that. Maybe. Attorney James Alfred Stanley Jr. Was an attorney in Florida. And he's such an asshole, despite all of the work that he's done to become an attorney, all the education, all the on-the-job training, all the relationship with the clients. The Florida bar has said, you are no longer an attorney. You're done. The Florida bar, a petition by the Florida bar to suspend James Alfred Stanley Jr. was granted Tuesday. The petition says he was stealing his client's trust money. The headline reads, attorney who said to cops, fuck you, I'm a lawyer, quote, in 2019, is no longer a lawyer. This is the mugshot for the DUI. I guess I've been showing it since I started talking about it. there's something about a drunk. He just looks sweaty. The eyes are red. He's all fucked up. That was from when he got popped back then. Now, the latest thing in this guy's life, and the exact quote was, "Fuck you. I'm a lawyer, you dumb fuck." Has now been suspended from the Florida bar through an emergency order. That's kind of like the way that I have my dialogue with Hurricane Ashley often is. Now, it isn't like I'm a lawyer. It's usually more like her saying, "Fuck you, you dumb fuck," which is a regular thing that flies out of her fucking dumb trap. And then I'm quite likely to respond with, "Eat shit, you stupid twat." But that's a little different. You don't want to be the guy saying that to a cop. "Fuck you, I'm a lawyer, you dumb fuck." And this is 2019. So, nowadays you can say that to any cop and they'll say, "Yeah, I know." Because ever since cops started murdering all the black people, it became a thing where you can kind of just tell a cop to eat your dick and it's totally cool. I've been watching a YouTube channel where I think it's called Audit the Audit or Audit the Law. I think it's a Facebook channel, actually. And people submit their police interactions, and then this cop expert or law expert weighs in on who's right and who's wrong. And the ones that get me are usually from a civilian, a motorist in Texas. Usually it's someone who knows the law, like the person driving, and then the cop pulls them over, and then there's all sorts of discussion between the cop and the motorist. "Why did you pull me over?" And then the cop tells them, and he goes, "Well, okay." Then they get into an argument, and then typically in these videos, the person who's driving the car ends up basically destroying the cop with legal mumbo jumbo that makes the cop let him go. The cop does something wrong or says something he's not supposed to, and then before you know it, this civilian, the motorist, is kind of like a legal eagle and knows her or his rights, and then the cop ends up like, "Okay, you're free to go." It's really quite fantastic. I like watching those. I watched one where a guy drove by cops who were standing on the side of the road and yelled out, "Fuck the police." So the cop pulled him over. And the motorist was able to get the cop to agree that he pulled him over because he yelled, "Fuck the police." In a sense, the cop's admitting to violating the guy's civil rights. Right to free speech. You cannot get in trouble for yelling "fuck the police" in the presence of a cop. And it was just fucking great. I'm not really one to thumb my nose at the cops. What I have to do is resist the urge to act like I can do that if I ever get pulled over. Because, I'm going to try to plagiarize as best as I can, knowing me, what I'm learning on this channel, and then I'll start to get snarky with the cop, and the next thing you know, I'm sucking the cop's dick. I can't do that. Anyway, Audit the Auditors, YouTube. Lackluster is another good channel. Also, the Civil Rights Lawyer. I love those videos. Tyler says, concerning our guy in the mugshot there, "I can smell the booze through the picture." Well, this guy's fucked. Works all that time to get that law degree. Now he's just an asshole. He's like a fry cook at Bosco's, for God's sake. A petition by the Florida bar to suspend the guy who worked for Jacksonville law firm Myers and Stanley was granted yesterday or Tuesday. Petition accuses Stanley of stealing money from his clients' settlements rather than paying the money out to the clients. So maybe it's like, like a Call Sam deal. They win a big lawsuit for negligence or something like that. I don't know. And then instead of the client getting the money, he would steal it. The order by the Florida Supreme Court says, sorry, the page just jumped on me. The order by the Florida Supreme Court says he has caused or is likely to cause immediate and serious harm to clients or the public by misappropriating client funds and committing fundamental trust account violations. Can't practice and drop all current cases within 30 days. He had overdrawn an account where the trust should have been. Okay, just give the specifics about the money he stole. What a fucking idiot. I wish I had the audio of fuck you. I'm a lawyer, you dumb fuck. I'm not doing the exercises. Fucking arrest me, he wrote. When he was arrested, he was taken to jail. He was told he was not entitled to a lawyer before his breathalyzer test. The report says that's when James stated, "You're one stupid fuck if you think I'm not entitled to a lawyer," and refused to submit to the breathalyzer. Eventually, Stanley's charge of possession of an open container in a motor vehicle was dismissed. The DUI charge was reduced to reckless driving and reopened as a separate case. He pleaded no contest to that charge. I wanted to finish up by telling you about I got in some trouble today on the radio. I talked to you before about how JC is the second in command. This tournament of rock that we're doing on the radio. You can vote as much as you want. It's just a fun way to engage the audience. Jimi Hendrix is taking on Eddie Van Halen. Vote for your favorite. And you can vote for as many times as you want. Well, some guy read into that. And he didn't like that because I guess it was Jimi Hendrix taking on Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. And Billy Gibbons won. And he wrote to me, EZ, there's an obvious flaw in the voting system when Billy Gibbons defeats Jimi Hendrix. Audience members should not be able to influence the voting that much. The contest is quickly becoming a bad joke that I am tuning out. Please make changes next year. And I wrote back, no, man, Billy Gibbons' twin brother, Willie Gibbons, lives in the area. He's retired. He sat around for 24 hours and voted for his brother, Billy Gibbons. That's what happened. Well, I sent that off to JC, and he laughed about it. But then I read that on the air, and he was like, oh, no. He actually wrote, no, with like 10 O's. Don't do this, my God. So I'm like, oh, I just fucked up. And it's like, well, everybody knows that. I mean, we've said on the air, you can vote as much as you want. I mean, we've actually said on the air, voting starts, vote is till your heart's desire. So, I mean, it's not like that's a fucking secret. I don't know what the fuck he's yelling at me for. So I call him. And he picks it up. I go, hey, buddy, everything okay? And he's like, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I don't know if I'd have done that. I don't know if I would. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Cat's out of the bag now. It's like, well, bullshit. The cat's been out of the bag for a month. And he texts me later on, don't sweat it. And I'm like, come on, man. So initially, they had it set up where you could only vote once. But then audience members were figuring out a way to circumvent that. So they went back and forth, and they finally agreed, let's just keep it open, and you can vote as many times as you want. Who cares? I don't know. I just found it interesting that, of course, I'm in trouble. Oh, it's already starting. Nick writes, Billy Gibbons has a much larger body of work and still is rocking the stage. It's true. All right, hang on. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Oh, boy. Okay, so I keep going to Reddit, and things keep getting dicey. Just a little, pulling back the curtain a little bit. There was a post made yesterday by a person critical of Ashley. Next thing I know, Ashley's involved. The guy or girl, the person who made the first post went in the area of first just being, oh, yeah, she should shut the fuck up, to like super intense, malicious talk, threats, aggressive, way beyond the scope of anything that anybody would expect on my subreddit. That's what I was exposed to when I was laying in bed. I deleted. I posted a, hey, no more. Stop. It didn't stop. So then I'm like, all right, 7-day ban. Person then gets another account. Again, continues the verbal assault. More. Now I'm permanently banning. So I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I think here's what I know. I know that Ashley feels like threatened and is responding through her legal rights to this person. I have tried to get this to stop. And all I'll tell you is that from my perspective, her realizing that she doesn't feel safe is probably not going to win out for anybody who's making her feel unsafe. She's going to use all of the means necessary to get this type of harassment to stop, and I support that. So she just posted another post onto Reddit, and I'm anxious to see what it says. But, I mean, at the end of the day, there are people that enjoy this show, and not everybody is on the same page. Some might say, I fucking hate this person, or I hate that person. I get it. And that's all cool. But when we start to get into threats and attacks and over-the-top maliciousness, I can't stand for that. So that's about it. So anything she writes on there, I'm going to leave it up, unless, of course, people don't take umbrage with what she's suggesting, this one particular person, and just leave her alone. You might be a little bit better off. I don't even know if that person is on Patreon. I don't think so. But all right. So that's saying as much as I can. There is something on there you can on Reddit right now. Read it while you can, I guess. Nick writes, that dude gives real creep incel vibes. Yeah, I'll have to take your word for it. I don't even know what that means, but I know it's not good. If you get called a creep incel, I think that's negative. Ryan says the posting just needs to stop all out. Yeah, I liked it better when we were talking about like Crispy R's and things like that, and Big Fraud News Network. So I want it to stop. I'm hoping it will very, very soon. Okay, that's it. At the end of the day, I know I'm good. I know everybody loves me. And that's the most important thing. Okay, until next time, folks, have a good one. Thank you. Bye-bye. Welcome in. Hello to you. Thank you for being part of the Patreon bonus podcast. I think this is the last thing I have to broadcast today, and then I've got my arts and crafts, boring shit, publishing. Excuse me, damn it, all that I have done today. So that's always a good time. It's kind of like the way my day goes. I'm going to bring in an absolute legend right now for an interview. Fella who was instrumental in the development of the career of Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. His name is Pat Collins. Hey.
Hey, congratulations.
I don't accept. I don't accept the congratulations.
Well, you don't actually have a choice.
Pat Collins, hang on. Let me introduce people a little bit more to you, and then we'll get into this because I love how you just get right after it. It's fantastic. This general manager, Pat Collins, was instrumental in the growth of our show, Free Beer and Hot Wings. I remember vividly when I first met Pat in the early 2000s as the man behind the scenes who pulled all the strings to make 105.7 get off the ground, and we built it from the ground up. We're basically selling. You guys were selling it out of your cars, and you took this radio station on the Jersey Shore that had some signal limitations and made it an absolute flamethrower. Congrats on all that you've done. And then you were bullish about the show in Portland, Maine, and made sure that we got on the air there. You've been a unbelievable supporter to all things Eric Zane and Free Beer and Hot Wings for a lot of years. So thank you for that in advance, and welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you very much. You guys were tremendous to work with. And, while it's a nomination and not the actual, ceremony or going in or whatever, it's all based on legacy. And you were a very big part of that. I think it's going to be tough for the show to actually get enough votes to go in, only because it's an ensemble cast. And, you have two members, both the women, who have been there for less than 5 years.
Right.
So I think that's going to make it tough for them. And Joe's a part of it as well.
Yes, absolutely. Now, how does that, do you know, as a radio executive for a lot of years, how this process works? Because I wasn't even aware of it. I know that the nomination committee contains Compass Media representatives and Town Square Media representatives. So
it contains a lot of people. It's basically everyone, there's probably, 20 people or so. And, everyone involved in the industry. They send out votes. I don't know who gets them, but they send out, and you're supposed to choose like up to 6 people or entities to go in. And that's basically how that works.
Okay, so then once that gets in front of people and they announce their nominations, the Radio Hall of Fame, what takes place in terms of voting? Do they make it a public thing?
No, I think it's industry-wide. I don't know who receives the votes. I never did. But it's done within the industry. So I don't know, but I have no clue how they select who gets to vote.
What about cost? Because I had read and heard that this is involved with not only lobbying and trying to drum up support like you would, almost like Heisman Trophy voting, but you have to, isn't there a fee involved that you have to pay the Radio Hall of Fame in order for this to happen in the first place?
I don't know, because I was never nominated. It's an organization that exists based upon donations, and they count on the industry and content providers and people like that to help support the organization. It's not like a typical Hall of Fame where you can pay a fee and get in.
Okay.
Like Canton or Cooperstown. There's no revenue source other than people, entities donating money.
Pat, let's go back in time. We were a fresh-faced team that just got hired on 105.7. A gentleman by the name of Jim Spector brought to you, hey, what do you think of this show? I'm thinking about hiring them. And then we didn't even know about it at that point in time, but there was conversations being had about us to move to New Jersey.
Right. I want to say you guys were like in Knoxville or something like that.
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah. And Jim threw it out here, and I said, "Do you have any audio?" And he did. And I said, "Let's go for it. Let's absolutely go for it." Again, it was launching a classic rock radio station, and it just worked, and it certainly did work. It was a bummer when you guys left, eventually New Jersey, to go to Grand Rapids.
It's amazing how it worked out. I can say this. I remember vividly because we were trying to leave Knoxville, and we had already agreed amongst ourselves that there was a job opening in Indianapolis that we were trying to get. And Michelle Stevens, whose name doesn't get mentioned enough because she said, because you were working with Michelle Stevens at the time and Spectre.
Yep.
And it was interesting because she said, look, because we told her ahead, we're thinking about taking a job in Indianapolis. She goes, well, can I just sit down with you for a few minutes? I will fly to Knoxville and we'll go get something to eat. And let me just have a conversation. She came in and absolutely wowed us in an incredible way. And we're like, what just happened? We really have to put our brains into this. And then we ultimately said, no, thank you, but no thank you to Indianapolis, and went to New Jersey.
Yeah.
It was remarkable that she was able to do that. I mean, she
she was incredibly talented, or is incredibly talented. But yeah, I mean, she oversaw the programming and the development of all the stations, and just did a tremendous job.
She started at WPST, I believe, as like an intern. And that's a legendary call letters legacy signal, and then worked her way up. And then she's running the company, for God's sake, from a programming sense. It was quite a sight to behold. She's fantastic. You went to Portland, Maine next. And can you take maybe, because you put us on there after Howard. You were kind of overseeing
Correct.
all of that. Can you explain what it was like for you from that standpoint as Howard Stern left terrestrial radio and then you had to put on a show?
Well, it was kind of interesting, and there's a little bit of a backstory that does involve Michelle, and it was an ugly confrontation. At that time, Opie and Anthony were an option, and she wanted to go with them, and I wanted to go with you guys.
Uh-huh.
And it got a little ugly. But ended up with you guys on a really tiny signal. But the show really connected with that market, unlike any other market that I had ever experienced.
I agree with that. I agree with that completely. I remember from my standpoint, not knowing what to think, market taking over for Howard, and that's a tall order. But I'll never forget the turnout and how it's like, well, right away we made an impact there. And I had never, ever experienced something so gigantic. I always remember very fondly the audience in Portland, Maine, because I was like, wow. That's when I became a believer that we could actually be a top-notch syndicated show because of the audience reaction in Portland, because they didn't know us from Adam. They had no idea who we were.
You guys had started to do some shows in markets and called me up on the air saying, we need to come to Portland. And I said, fine, I'm selling tickets. And you guys are like, what? Who's going to pay to get up at 4:00 in the morning to get to a venue and stuff like that? And boy, did they show up.
Yeah, I think that was our first paid show out of market, and it was incredible. I'll never forget it. It was everybody had a ball. And I don't know if they still go to Portland, because I think the radio station ultimately changed hands in ownership, if I'm not mistaken, over time.
No, they're still on the air there, and they are going in. It's coming up and towards the latter part of May.
Oh, okay.
It's no longer the Friday before Memorial Day weekend, but I think it's the Friday before that.
Hey, where are you now in the world? Like your actual location?
Rumson, New Jersey.
Okay. So now you ended up getting out of radio. Did you start to work for Lou?
I did. And unfortunately, the magazines, they were called the journal publications, they went under.
Yeah.
So I decided to retire.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. And Lou was the guy who was this eccentric, wealthy man who owned 105.7 The Hawk. And
Correct.
That guy was kind of like, all right, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but you guys do. So build me a radio station. And man, my God, it was Pat Collins. It was Rob Fulmer. And then was there a third? I know we had the programming staff.
No, yeah, we did. We had a cast of characters, basically picking up people off the scrap pile, and it worked. It simply worked.
Yeah, it was great, and still going strong to this day. That show, Freeburn Hot Wings, has been on the air there since I guess it would be 2002.
2002, correct?
Which is just incredible. My God. Is there any moment that stands out when you were a general manager in Portland, Maine on The Bone where we said something that got somebody upset and you had to put out that fire and we weren't even aware of it? Did that ever manifest for you as a leader of a radio station?
There was one incident, and it involved Joe came to do a market visit, and he wanted to do a stunt, and so he met with our promotions director. They got together early in the morning, and what he was going to do is pay someone to shave off their beard or mustache, but he'd make it look funny. And so they go out in the morning and they go across the street to Monument Square, and it's probably like 7:45.
Yeah.
And there's no one around. So the promotion director says, "Oh, I know where there's people. It's just down here." And they go down to a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
And there's tons of people there. And Joe does his stunt.
Yeah.
Well, I get the call from the head of the homeless shelter, ripping me a new one because we're harassing the homeless. And so
oh my God.
I realized we have a problem. So I go to the promotion director and I said, "This happened?" She goes, "Yeah." And how'd you guys end up there? It was my idea. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to go meet Mark or whoever was the head of this homeless shelter.
Okay.
And I brought a check for $500 to make a donation. And that was pretty fun. Well, I don't want to say funny, but that happened.
Well,
that happened.
So now I know how you wheel and deal, and being a Jersey guy, was it like, okay, did you have to actually say, hey, would it make this go away if I gave you a donation of $500? Was it that out front, or does it? I mean, how do you?
No, I brought a check with me.
Okay, you said, here, I want this, and then you never heard another thing again from the guy.
It was done. No, I remember saying, we made a mistake. It's our responsibility. We'd like to help the organization. Here you go.
You see, that's wonderful, and that to me shows the chops of you. You're going to have that moment happen when a morning show doing their job upsets the apple cart. And I was fortunate to work with a gentleman by the name of Phil Catlett. You might know that name.
Okay.
Phil was the general manager of Freeburn Hot Wings and GRD, and he was cut from the same cloth. It's worth it to me to smooth this over, and he would oftentimes take a hit on our behalf when we would get in the weeds doing whatever. But he knew ultimately it was stepping over nickels to pick up dollars. That's what led to my undoing, because ultimately when we started working with Peter from Compass was right away very strongly opinionated about, first of all, how we address people on the air. Like, I was the one who, if somebody sounded like an idiot on the air, I would say, "You sound like an idiot right now." Well, that pissed him off, and he said, "We got to stop that." And then he said, "We can't be, speaking off the cuff and any type of colorful language, and none of the drops can have colorful language." And so right then and there, we all agreed to that because he's a syndicator. And I think that's when we started to lose the fastball.
I don't think so. I think it made you better. I think you had to think about how you were going to do things a little differently. But I think he was absolutely right.
Really?
I think there was a time that the show, probably 2008, 2009, might have been getting a little blue. and he kind of reeled it in.
Wow. Well, I've never heard that from you. That's great insight, because from my perspective, I was like, this sucks. I don't like it. I don't feel comfortable doing it. But I mean, I guess the proof is in the pudding. If you wanted to have a productive show for many, many years, they are. It's tough to argue with the success.
Yeah, and I think the peak of that show occurred after that, maybe 11, 12, 13 or something like that.
I think we were at peak show when we did the adventures and the capers, where Joe would travel to foreign lands or faraway places. Running of the Bulls, Lindsay Lohan, Royal Wedding, those types of adventures. And I thought that those took us a long way, frankly.
Well, that's why the show's nominated for the Hall of Fame.
Let's hope. Pat, it's fantastic to catch up with you. You were a big part of the history of the show, and I'm so glad I was able to reconnect with you and share this moment for longtime diehards of the legacy of that show when we were all together kicking it around.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Pat. I appreciate you.
Talk to you later.
Thanks. Bye. I will refuse to take credit for that. To me that sounds and feels icky. Let me send a text. You did awesome. Period. Thank you so much. I was kind of hoping that when I said, yeah, as soon as Peter sunk his claws into it, the show went downhill. And he goes, I don't think so. I think it made it better. Oh, fucking shit. All right. I'm saving this. I wanted to start just by playing it, but I knew Pat was under the gun, and so I wanted to get to Pat, but I got to share this with you. Normally when I talk, I don't like to listen back to it, and I also don't find a lot of things funny that a lot of other people do find funny. Take Amanda. She's constantly sending me stuff she says, this is so funny. And I watch it. I was like, I don't think it's funny. And I, for damn sure, don't laugh at me. And there have been moments when I've reacted to, or I've laughed to people reacting to what I say. That's funny. But something happened when I was on the radio a short time ago doing the sports broadcast with JC from Q100. Something happened, and I'm going to play it for you. Audio and video. This is something that you should actually see, though, because the visual element to this makes it even more of a home run. I don't know why I do this or why I feel the need. But when JC was talking on the live broadcast to the guy from the local airport about why you should fly from that airport, I wasn't included in that conversation. I didn't know if my mic was on. And from my perspective, all I could see was a full screen of JC. And in the corner was me. Just a little teeny tiny thumbnail size image of me here. I didn't know at the time that what we were doing was being broadcast on Facebook, and we were equally filling up the screen. So you see me in the corner if you're watching it on Twitch when we did it live, because I broadcast the show on my Twitch feed, and all you could see was JC, and I was in a little corner, and I was under the impression that that's the way it looked on Facebook for the audience on Up North Sports Radio, WGRY 101.1. But no. And I was sitting here while he's talking to airport guy, and I'm looking at my phone, and then I realized this is boring. We gotta do something here to make it entertaining. And at that exact moment, my body, like the legend that it is, answered the call. And my body said to me, your wish is our command. Here comes a fart. So I'm seated here, and then I go, oh, hey, there's a fart coming. Okay, cool. Well, this is a perfect opportunity to see if the mic is working. So I stood up, and Stevie says they need to tell you this beforehand. Absolutely true. Now, the mic's hot, but I don't know it. And I can be seen, but I don't know it. Okay, so these are two big things. So then I stood up, and I turned, grabbed the mic, and I put the mic up to my asshole and ripped this fart. Now, some of you heard it on Twitch and saw. I don't know if you were able to see, though, because, again, it was just a little thing in the thumbnail. But no, it was, I'm going to show it to you in a second. It was intense. It was a crazy fart. And like I said, I don't laugh at my own shit. But when I watched this, what I'm about to show you, I damn near had a heart attack. I cannot remember the last time I laughed at something so hard. And that's saying something because, again, I don't like me. I don't laugh at me. About the far as I'll go is when I see you reacting to something I've said and you laughing at it. I'll laugh at you because you're laughing at me, but I'm not going to laugh at me. But not in this case. I was laughing so goddamn hard just at the ridiculousness of this. Oh, my God. Kenny says, I heard it, but I couldn't really see what you were doing and then saw him make a what the fuck motion and facial expression. So you're getting all of this here. Now, let me tell you, if you are a member on Patreon paying the $5 a month for the audio, I love you for that. But just throw $5 more at it just to watch this. It's that absurd. So we need to relive that. Okay. Here we are. Look at how prominently we're featured. My God. You got the Facebook page. You got the nice little backdrop of the baseball stadium, upnorthsportsradio.com, JC Coyne, EZ. All right. This is when we pick it up. You can tell I'm losing interest in the conversation, and it's like something needs to be done. Stevie says, good thing it didn't turn into a code brown. Here we go. I hope you're not driving.
Oh, they could be enjoying a New York skyline and having a lot of fun.
We pick it up how people should have flown away to New York City to see the Tigers. A sports talk show. Yeah, so-and-so from the airport, they should have flown over to see the Tigers. Yeah, we can fly you out of there, Traverse City.
And with our best start ever for our Tigers, I'll tell you, since 1984.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch so far, and you've got the gateway to a lot of road games coming up on the Tigers schedule.
Well, you know, as we get towards the summer season, our 29
looking at my phone
are all back with our sixth grade airlines.
And then it happened.
Coming up here.
I'm making the jack-off motion with my hands.
You know, with great prices there at $512. You got Boston, $390.
Yeah.
You got Dallas,
Here we go.
$260. You know, even planning a little further out as you hit the 1st of July, you got Minneapolis at $120 round trip with Sun Country Airlines. So we got some great destinations.
Come on. Are you serious? Holy shit. I wonder how much trouble I'm in.
You know,
I cannot help myself. I can't do it.
Prices there at $512. You got Boston, $390.
Yeah.
You got Dallas, $260. You know, even planning a little further out as you hit the 1st of July, you got Minneapolis at $120 round trip.
What the hell? There's no way that that's real. Sorry, I got to play it 100 more times.
Great airlines, and you know, coming up here, we have Phoenix. You know, with great prices there at $512. You got Boston, $390.
Yeah.
You got Dallas, $260. even planning a little further out and hit the 1st of July, you got Minneapolis at $120 round trip with Sun Country Airlines.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. That is intense. Linda says, oh, my God. Tyler says, ha, ha, ha. Tyler says, this conversation is getting boring. Time to blast some life into it. Kenny says he's never going to have you back. Stevie says, no. Ah. Kenny says, was he mad? I don't know. There was no conversation about that. Patrick says, what the fuck, dude? Ryan says, play it again, play it again. Linda says, Jesus Christ, only you would think to do this. Play it back and forth continuously. Let me see what I can do here.
So we got some 390 further out trip with Sun Country Airlines.
Wow.
Minneapolis 260, 390.
Yeah.
260. Even planning a little further out and hit the 260. Even planning a little further out and hit the route 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 and hit the route.
Got it.
Minneapolis at $120 round trip with Sun Country. Further out and hit the route 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 and hit the 1st of July, you got Minneapolis at $120 round trip with Sun.
Oh shit. Oh my God. Tyler says Ben will appreciate that. Nick says they are having meetings about you as we speak. Adam Balboa writes, I have no words. I might have already read this one. Nick wrote, fired, so fired. Bob says, this mean Devil Fart Mike. Does this mean Devil Fart Mike is making a comeback? I can't say. I hope you checked your pants after that. It had an air of juice in it. Chris says, where's Rick? Rick would not approve. Steve says, good thing I'm alone in my office today. I will say that I did have a conversation with JC after the show. So that was in the first 20 minutes that I unloaded that bomb. 4 minutes after the show ended at 11:04, I wrote, that was fun. Thanks for having me. He said, you're welcome. It was great fun. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. How ridiculous is my brain, though? Here I am. I got this great thing going on, and I'm going to blast a fart into a mic on the fucking radio from right here. Oh, no. Okay, so now this needs to see the light of day somehow. But it can't right now because that wound is still fresh. I cannot, take that moment and then make it a highlight. Though, 99% of my instinct is telling me you got to get on this. You got to take that one moment in time, post it to all your sources, put it on the free podcast, make a big deal about how you, through the finite, infinite technology options we have, was actually able to fart on the air of a radio station that I was asked to co-host on. My God. So 99% of me wants this to become a thing. We'll say, hey, watch what I did. But the 1% brain portion of me says, no, you got away with it. You're just going to have to accept it and move on from there, or they're going to have to accept it and move on. You have given them they're probably going to have to make a decision. But now ultimately, you got to understand, If I get a phone call that says, Easy, you farted on the mic, we're going to have to let you go. We don't want anything to do with you going forward because of that fart. I can then add that I got fired for farting on the mic. Now, you can add this to the stack of ridiculous reasons of how I've been fired in the past. Move over, make fun of a guy's pants. Move over for playing Peter Griffin during the AIDS commercial. Move over for shoving the general manager of 104.5 The Bone. We've got a new winner. Farting on the mic on the sports talk radio station. That'd be a new all-time high. So, you're right. I'm going to have to wait a little while and then get after this. It has to make an appearance. But if you do it now, that wound is still fresh. They're probably upset. Somebody's got to be upset, right? See if there's any other correspondence here. Yeah, I got nothing. This seems to be very, very quiet. All quiet on the Western Front. I think ultimately, JC is kind of like a wild card through all of this. And what I mean by that is where the ownership is pretty conservative about what to do on any broadcast form of theirs. I think that JC probably found that to be very, very funny. And is probably not going to say a word about it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you enjoyed that as much as I did. Aram says they can't fire him if it's a medical condition, right? Tyler says this has the opportunity to be an epic year of firings. Fired for defending a sponsor, fired for forgetting to remove the bun, and fired for farting on the air. Ryan writes, big fraud. If you manage to get fired for farting, this is just another successful trophy, in my opinion. I think it's something you and your grandchildren will be very proud of. I agree with that. Kenny says, what is more epic, Eric's list of accomplishments and job history, or his list of firings and reasons why? Wow. I love this. Nick says this needs to go viral. As viral as when I said, don't let me down to the hockey player. Kenny says, don't forget the Iron Men. Well, I don't for sure have a reason why I was fired for that. It might have been the sex with kids references during the live stream, but that's not what I was told. I was told they just found another guy and he wants to be part of the team. And I didn't ask any questions. I didn't go, well, was it because I talked about the players having sex with kids? I don't know. Could be anything. They might have just been keeping it polite. So I don't have the final word on that. Before we wrap up, we should probably go ahead and watch that about 100 more times while it's still fresh in our brains.
Country Airlines. So
yeah.
We got some great, with great prices there, with great prices. Even planning a little further out and hit the first, even planning a little further out 1st of July, you got, with 260, even planning a little further out and hit the, even planning a little further out and hit the,
watch his face.
Even planning a little further out and hit the first, even planning a little further out and hit the 1st of July, you got Minneapolis at $120 round trip with Sun Country.
He was looking straight on, and then he did this. He turned, and then he goes, he shakes his head, and it's like, I can hear your fart. And then I'm laughing. What a fucking idiot.
Country Airlines. So we got some great destinations there at 512. You got 390 for the summer season.
You can actually pick out when the gears start spinning in my brain. Now, when I'm looking at the phone here, The fart has not yet been created. It doesn't even exist.
20 nonstop destinations.
My phone's upside down.
Back with our sixth grade airlines. And,
right there. No, no.
Coming up here.
That's what I'm doing.
We have Phoenix, with great prices there at $512. You got Boston, $3.
All right, now I felt it. I felt the fart. Here it comes.
$390.
Got to move. Got to act.
$260. Even planning a little further out and you hit the 1st of July, you got Minneapolis at $120 round trip.
Oh shit! I'm so dead. I'm telling you right now. That is a reason to tune in. That is my job. You gotta make something happen. Tyler says, ask your advisor. As your advisor, I can't advise you to push your luck with radio farts as your head joke writer. More radio farts. Stevie says, I wonder if the guy on the phone heard it. I'm sure he did. But he thought, there's no way someone just farted on the mic. Quote, hey, JC, did you pick up some weird interference during the airport guy interview? Ryan adds, it's true. You can visually identify the point where the ass gas is detected, and your brain realizes there's a tremendous opportunity in front of you to fart on the mic. Kenny says, tell Ben to watch us today and listen. Well, he's gonna. I guarantee you he's gonna watch and listen to this goddamn thing. If he doesn't, I'll send it to him. I'll make sure he sees and hears this. What an unbelievable thing. This is epic. On show number 1,290 of the Patreon bonus podcast. Thank you for being here and being part of it and helping keep the dream alive. Talk to you next time. Have a good one, folks. Bye-bye.